Hey, it's your girl Kat, and today I want to bring you guys something a little different. Today we're going to talk about a certain topic that I know I have dealt with on a number of bases, and I'm sure we all have. It is talking about dealing with toxic people and setting boundaries. I came across this video by one of my favorite motivational speakers, and her name is Mel Robinson. I'm going to share her video within this video, and then I'm going to jump back on and I'm going to talk about some things at the end of the video. So you guys stay tuned, watch Mel's video, and tune in to her channel as well, because she drops a lot of knowledge and she shares a lot of information about how to overcome different things in your life, fear, adversity, etc., etc., etc. She's been a staple in my arsenal as far as going through my journey and becoming my quote unquote whole person. Anyway, stay tuned and I'll be back with you.
Is it just me, or does it seem like there's more toxic people in the world today? The jerk behind you that's tailgating you, the boss that keeps sending you texts in the middle of the night, the roommate that keeps borrowing your stuff without asking. They seem happily unaware of the negative impact they have on you, and some of them even seem satisfied by pushing your buttons and creating chaos. You know why toxic people defy logic? Toxic people don't know that they're toxic. You see, toxic behavior, it's really easy to recognize in other people, but it's almost impossible to recognize in ourselves. So what if I flipped the topic on you? What if I told you there is no such thing as a toxic person? What if I told you I want you to stop calling people toxic? It's not the person who's toxic, it's their behavior that's toxic. What makes a behavior toxic is when it crosses a boundary for you. And that's important because that means you get to decide what is toxic and what is not. And when you focus on boundaries with toxic behavior rather than people, you can draw boundaries everywhere in your life. Boundaries are rules that you create for how other people can behave toward you. You can't rid the world of toxic behavior, but you can protect yourself from experiencing it. The life you want is going to require you to say no. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you selfish. In fact, it makes you confident. It makes you strong, and it makes you honest. Every time you say no, you draw a boundary and you say yes to something that is important. You.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I want to share with you some of my personal takeaways. I'm probably going to be looking down because I wrote a couple of notes, and I just want to share with you what I gathered from that. And one of the things is, I do personally believe that there are some very toxic people out in this world. I mean, coming from my personal experience with dealing with a narcissistic personality disorder or behavior, that type of personality in a person is very toxic because that person tends to lack empathy and not be able to share or pass anything that they believe in with themselves. It's a very selfish type of personality or behavior, and they don't take in considerations other thoughts. For me, that is a toxic person. But for you, it may be something different. That is why I wanted to share the video from Mel, because it takes away from you trying to, as an individual, label anybody you come in contact with as a toxic person, because you don't realize that to someone else, you may be toxic. So anywho, setting all that aside, we as individuals need to understand our own triggers, the things that trigger us, to say what bothers us when it comes to dealing with other people. Before you label someone as a toxic person, I mean, some people may say dealing with a person with a strong personality. Oh, they're just toxic. Well, that's just their personality as far as them being toxic. And I know that may sound contradicting to what I was just saying about a narcissistic behavior. But no, let's take if we're getting into quote unquote zodiacs or whatever, some people think that a lot of Sagittarius or, you know, some Geminis or something, or they kind of quote, you know, Aries are very strong-willed people that, you know, they don't mind, they very blunt. My son personally is a Taurus, and he says what's on his mind, but he's a very sweet person. So I said all that to say is we have to know what trigger us, and we have to react to our triggers. We can't take someone else's, we can't, their personality is their personality. How you deal with that personality is something different. So it's your response to what is coming your way. So that's kind of what I took away from this, you know, to flip the script, because there are days a lot of people can consider me, oh, you're a very sweet person, you're this and that, but you catch me on the wrong day and you push a certain trigger or a button, and you may not think I'm that, you know, same sweet person or that same, you know, gentle person. 98% of the time I am, but I do have my triggers. So we have to know what our own personal triggers are and act accordingly. So if you're so what I took away from that, when you're dealing with someone on a regular day-to-day basis that constantly triggers you and you consider them toxic, you need to find ways to move away from that. It is okay to love from a distance. I know it's a cliche to say that we are to love the person and hate the sin type thing. I don't know where that is in the Bible. I don't even think it is in the Bible. But I do know that we are to love our neighbors as well as ourselves. So I can love you, but I don't have to be around you. I don't need to have someone in my life that's constantly bringing me down and making me feel a certain way. So I'm learning my personal triggers and controlling my responses to those triggers is something I gather that I've been working on as part of this journey that I've been on. So it is okay to step away and pull those people or let those people go. And sometimes I know it's hard because sometimes we love them deeply, like, especially if they are someone in your family, and as women, if they are your own child who continues, you know, that has grown into an adult that continues to bring you down. It's hard to say no. Or a spouse or something. It's hard to get away. But we have to learn our boundaries and how we're going to react to them. So I don't want to jump into what to do in your marriage and all that stuff. That's something you have to do between you, your spouse, and God, or whomever you serve, on how you deal with that. But I said all that to say is my takeaway from this is learning what my personal triggers are and responding accordingly. So I kind of wanted to share that video with you. It's part of what's helping me on my journey, and I'm hoping that something is said here that may inspire you to think a little bit differently and find out what helps you. Anywho, that's kind of all I have for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna try and do more content like this for you guys to kind of share with you guys things that has helped me on my path. Some of it may be sermons that I've been my go-to. It may be other YouTubers that has poured into me and encouraged me on specific topics that I had struggles with, combining that with some of my Bible studies, etc., etc., etc. But anyway, that's what I have. I don't want to make this video much longer than what it is, and I hope you enjoy. And if you have, please like, share, subscribe to the channel and help me grow if I'm helping you grow. Thank you. Smooches.